This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away from 16th to 28th of February 2018 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Nanette Fabray, she was born in October 1920 and she died in February 2018. Her age was 97 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Nanette Fabray was a Tony and Emmy Award-winning actress, singer and dancer who was a versatile star of stage and screen. She was a celebrated Broadway performer and won 3 Emmy Awards for her work as Sid Caesar's comedy foil on the classic variety show Caesars Are. After publicly revealing her own hearing impairment, she became a tireless, influential advocate for rights of deaf and hard of hearing people. James Colby, he was born in September 1961 and he died in February 2018. His age was 56 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. James Colby was a respected and versatile American actor of stage, screen, and television. He was a familiar face in the New York theater scene and had memorable roles in films like Patriots Day and as a mobster in the HBO series The Deuce. He was known for his grounded and powerful performances, bringing authenticity to a wide range of characters. Little Sammy Davis, he was born in November 1928 and he died in February 2018. His age was 89 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Little Sammy Davis was an acclaimed American blues musician, harmonica player, and a singer, a contemporary blues legend. He was a key figure in the Hudson Valley blues scene and was known for his soulful harmonica playing and gritty vocals. He gained wider recognition later in life with his album I Ain't Lying and was a beloved mentor to younger musicians. Bud Luckey, he was born in July 1934 and he died in February 2018. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. Bud Luckey was a legendary animator, cartoonist, and voice actor who was a key creative force at Pixar Animation Studios. He was a character designer for many beloved films, most famously creating the look for Woody from Toy Story. He also provided the voices for characters like Rick Dicker in The Incredibles and was a solo writer, director, and performer of the Oscar-nominated Pixar short Boundin'. Boyd Jarvis, he was born in October 1958 and he died in February 2018. His age was 59 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Boyd Jarvis was a pioneering and highly influential figure in the world of house and dance music. As a keyboardist, producer, and DJ, his 1983 track, The Music Got Me, is considered a foundational and groundbreaking proto-house classic. His innovative use of synthesizers and his soulful productions had a profound impact on the development of electronic dance music. Barry Crimmins, he was born in July 1953 and he died in February 2018. His age was 64 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Barry Crimmins was a fiercely political and influential stand-up comedian who was a key architect of the Boston comedy scene in the 1980s. His biting political satire inspired a generation of comics, including Bobcat Goldthwait, who directed the acclaimed documentary about his life, Call Me Lucky. He later became a prominent activist against child sexual abuse, using his own trauma to advocate for victims. Richard Hundley, he was born in September 1931 and he died in February 2018. His age was 86 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Richard Hundley was a distinguished American composer, primarily known for his beautifully crafted art songs. His compositions, which set the works of poets like James Purdy to music, were celebrated for their lyricism and emotional depth and were performed by renowned singers like Frederica Von Stead. He was a respected figure in the world of classical vocal music. Benjamin Melniker, he was born in May 1913 and he died in February 2018. His age was 104 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Benjamin Melniker was a veteran film producer and studio executive with a career spanning over 70 years. After a long tenure as an executive at MGM, he and his partner Michael Uslan acquired the film rights to the DC Comics character Batman. He served as a producer or executive producer on every Batman film, from Tim Burton's 1989 classic to The Dark Knight Rises. Sean Levery. He was born in August 1956 and he died in February 2018. His age was 61 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Sean Levery was an acclaimed American ballet dancer who was a principal dancer with the New York City Ballet for over a decade. He was celebrated for his elegant style and his masterful interpretations of the works of George Balanchine and Jerome Robbins. After retiring from the stage, he became a respected teacher and repetitor of the company, helping to preserve its rich legacy. Larry Smith. He was born in June 1938 and he died in February 2018. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Larry Smith was an American puppeteer and producer of children's programming in the Cincinnati area since 1957. Smith achieved his greatest fame by the late 1960s when he went to the new television station WXIX in Cincinnati to host an afternoon puppet cartoon show, which came to be called Larry Smith Cartoon Club, which he hosted throughout the 1970s. Smith and his puppets were the first stars of WXIX. Beeb Fradas. She was born in August 1938 and she died in February 2018. Her age was 79 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Beeb Fradas was a highly respected pianist, vocal coach, and a central figure in the classic music community of Hawaii. She served for decades as the artistic director and head of music for the Hawaii Opera Theater, where she was a beloved and indispensable mentor to generations of singers. Her dedication and artistry had a profound impact on the cultural life of the state. Mike Walker. He was born in January 1946 and he died in February 2018. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Mike Walker was an American radio personality and a gossip columnist for the National Enquirer, and hosted the magazine's 1999 to 2001 MGM-produced news magazine, National Enquirer TV. He was also the author of the 2005 book, Rather Dumb. A top tabloid reporter tells CBS how to do news. Between April 11, 1996 and December 2010, Walker was a guest every week on the Howard Stern show to play the gossip game. Paul Demure. He was born in June 1953 and he died in February 2018. His age was 64 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Paul Demure was an American screenwriter and producer for film, television, and video games. He frequently worked with Danny Bilson. He wrote two comics based on the Red Faction series, Armageddon and Red Faction Guerrilla Fire on Mars, produced by Wildstorm Comics. Eleanor Windsor Leach. She was born in August 1937 and she died in February 2018. Her age was 80 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Dr. Eleanor Windsor Leach was a distinguished American classical scholar and a professor at Indiana University. She was a leading authority on Roman art, literature, and culture, particularly of the Augustan period. Her influential books and articles were often integrated literary analysis with art history, provided new insights into the social and visual world of ancient Rome. Harvey Schmidt. He was born in September 1929 and he died in February 2018. His age was 88 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Harvey Schmidt was a celebrated American composer of musical theater. Along with his longtime lyricist partner Tom Jones, he created The Fantastics, the longest-running musical in history, which features the timeless song Try to Remember. The duo also created other acclaimed Broadway shows, including 110 in the Shade and I Do, I Do. Bill Lingante. He was born in March 1925 and he died in February 2018. His age was 92 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Bill Lingante was an American artist who had a long career as a comic strip illustrator and a television courtroom sketch artist. He was best known for his work as the artist for the Phantom comic strip from 1961 to 1962, providing the classic visual for the iconic hero. He later became one of the most recognized courtroom artists in Los Angeles, capturing famous trials for television news. Peggy Cooper Caffritz. She was born in April 1947 and she died in February 2018. Her age was 70 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death were complications from pneumonia. Peggy Cooper Caffritz was a visionary and transformative figure in arts education and a major civic leader in Washington, D.C. In 1974, she co-founded the Duke Ellington School of the Arts, a public high school that became a premier institution for training young artists. A passionate advocate and a renowned art collector, she dedicated her life to creating opportunities for students, particularly those from underserved communities. Walter R. Tobler. He was born in November 1930 and he died in February 2018. His age was 87 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Walter R. Tobler was a highly influential Swiss-American geographer and cartographer. He was best known for formulating what became known as Tobler's first law of geography: everything related to everything else. But near things are more related than distant things. This foundational concept underlies much of the modern spatial analysis and geographic information science. Naomi Seligman. She was born in 1933 and she died in February 2018. Her age was 85 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was pneumonia complications. Naomi Seligman was an American-born sculptor who became a prominent figure in the art world of Mexico. Her work often involved carving wood into intricate and surprising forms, transforming everyday objects and natural materials into complex sculptures. She was a respected and innovative artist who exhibited her work internationally for many decades. William H. T. Bush. He was born in July 1938 and he died in February 2018. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. William H. T. Bucky Bush was an American businessman and the youngest brother of President George H. W. Bush, a successful banker and venture capitalist. He was also a key fundraiser and advisor for the presidential campaigns of both his brother and his nephew, President George W. Bush. He was a respected and influential member of one of America's most prominent political families. William R. Trotter. He was born in July 1943 and he died in February 2018. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. William R. Bill Trotter was a respected American author and historian who specialized in military history. He wrote extensively on a variety of subjects, but was particularly known for his works on the Eastern Front of the Second World War and the American Civil War. His books were praised for their detailed research and engaging, accessible prose. Cynthia Himmel. She was born in July 1947 and she died in February 2018. Her age was 70 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death were complications from dementia. Cynthia Himmel was a witty and influential American author and columnist known for her sharp, humorous, and feminist observations on sex, relationships, and modern life. Her 1983 book, Sex Tips for Girls, became a cultural touchstone, and she wrote popular columns for publications like The Village Voice and Playboy. Her voice was a smart and funny precursor to shows like Sex and the City. Max Desfer. He was born in November 1913 and he died in February 2018. His age was 104 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Max Desfer was a Pulitzer Prize-winning American photojournalist for the Associated Press. He was awarded the 1951 Pulitzer Prize for photography for his harrowing image of Korean War refugees crawling across a destroyed bridge over the Taedong River. His long and distinguished career involved covering numerous major world events, including the end of Second World War. William H. Friedland. He was born in May 1923 and he died in February 2018. His age was 94 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. William H. Friedland was a distinguished sociologist and a founding faculty member of the University of California, Santa Cruz. A scholar of labor and agriculture, he was a key figure in establishing the university's community studies program. He was a dedicated teacher and a passionate advocate for social justice throughout his long career. John C. Mueller, he was born in December 1942 and he died in February 2018. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. John C. Mueller was an American art director and production designer, known for his work on television shows including Barney Miller, Charles in Charge, and Boy Meets World. In 1991, Mueller won Primetime Emmy Award for Art Direction for his work on the ABC and Jim Henson Productions comedic television series Dinosaurs. Charles Byron Wilson, he was born in August 1929 and he died in February 2018. His age was 88 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. Charles Byron Wilson was a world-renowned neurosurgeon and a former chairman of the Department of Neurological Study at the University of California, San Francisco. He was a pioneer in the treatment of brain tumors, developing innovative surgical techniques that significantly improved patient outcomes. He was a revered teacher and a giant in the field of neurosurgery. Günter Blobel, he was born in May 1936 and he died in February 2018. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Dr. Günter Blobel was a German-American cell biologist who won the 1999 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. A professor at Rockefeller University, he discovered that proteins have intrinsic signals that govern their transport and localization within the cell. This groundbreaking work was fundamental to understanding the molecular basis of many cellular processes and diseases. Michael J. Picol, he was born in August 1939 and he died in February 2018. His age was 78 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. Michael J. Picol was a distinguished pharmaceutical scientist and a professor at the University of Connecticut. He was a world-renowned expert in the field of lyophilization, a critical process for preserving and stabilizing drugs and vaccines. His research profoundly advanced the science and technology of pharmaceutical manufacturing. Gary H. Posner, he was born in June 1943 and he died in February 2018. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. Gary H. Posner was an acclaimed organic chemist and a professor at Johns Hopkins University. He was best known for his development of the Corey-Haus-Posner wise size reaction, a fundamental tool in synthetic organic chemistry. He was also a leading researcher in the development of new anti-cancer and anti-malarial drugs. Lee Harris Pomeroy, he was born in November 1932 and he died in February 2018. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Lee Harris Pomeroy was a prominent American architect, known for his work in historic preservation and transportation design. His firm was responsible for the award-winning restoration of numerous New York City subway stations, including the iconic Astor Place and the Bleecker Street Broadway Lafayette Station. His work skillfully blended modern design with the preservation of historic character. Frank Santer, he was born in July 1927 and he died in February 2018. His age was 90 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Frank E. A. Sander was a renowned professor at Harvard Law School and a pioneer in the field of alternative dispute resolution. He was famously credited with originating the concept of the multi-door courthouse, a system where legal disputes could be channeled to various resolution processes like mediation or arbitration. His work fundamentally changed the landscape of modern legal practice. Irvin Belk, he was born in April 1922 and he died in February 2018. His age was 95 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Irvin Belk was a businessman, politician, and a major philanthropist from North Carolina. an executive with the Belk department store chain founded by his family. He was also a longtime member of the North Carolina State Senate. He was a passionate supporter for the United States Olympic movement and higher education, making significant financial contributions to universities and athletic programs. Allen B. Rosenstein. He was born in August 1920 and he died in February 2018. His age was 97 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. Allen B. Rosenstein was an influential engineering scientist and a professor at University of California, Los Angeles. He was a pioneer in the field of engineering education, advocating for a more holistic curriculum that integrated design, social science, and professional ethics. His work had a significant impact on how engineering is taught in universities across the country. Pierce F. Lewis. He was born in October 1927 and he died in February 2018. His age was 90 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. Pierce F. Lewis was an influential and beloved cultural geographer and a professor at Pennsylvania State University. He was known for his insightful work on the American landscape, teaching students and readers how to read the cultural and historical stories embedded in their surroundings. His engaging essays, such as The Axioms for Reading the Landscape, were foundational texts in the field. Billy Graham. He was born in November 1918 and he died in February 2018. His age was 99 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Billy Graham was one of the most influential and widely heard Christian evangelists in history. For more than 6 decades, his large-scale crusades were broadcast globally, and he is estimated to have preached to hundreds of millions of people. He was a spiritual advisor to numerous United States presidents and became a towering figure in American religious and political life. David Caron. He was born in June 1953 and he died in February 2018. His age was 64 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. David Caron was a distinguished American legal scholar and an international judge, a longtime professor and dean at the UC Berkeley School of Law. He was a leading authority on public and private international law. He served as a judge of the Iran-United States Claims Tribunal and was a respected arbitrator in numerous international disputes. Jim L. Gillis Jr. He was born in October 1916 and he died in February 2018. His age was 101 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. James L. Jim Gillis Jr. was a longtime politician and a powerful figure in the state of Georgia. He served in the Georgia State Senate in 1938 and from 1945 to 1946, and on the Troutland County Commission. He was also a veteran member of the Georgia Department of Transportation Board, known for his influence on road building projects across the state. DeWitt Hale. He was born in June 1917 and he died in February 2018. His age was 100 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. DeWitt Hale was an American politician. He served as a Democratic member in the Texas House of Representatives from 1953 to 1978 and 1939 to 1940. He served as a Speaker pro tempore from 1961 to 1962. Hill served in the United States Army Air Forces during the Second World War. From 1975 to 1978, he was the Dean of Texas House. Keith English. He was born in November 1967 and he died in February 2018. His age was 50 at the time of his death, and he took his own life. Keith English was an American politician, union electrician, and business owner of the state of Missouri. English served as a member of the Missouri House of Representatives from Florissant, Missouri. He was elected to his first 2-year term in November 2012. He was a dedicated public servant who focused on the needs of his constituents. Mark L. Marks. He was born in February 1927 and he died in February 2018. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Mark L. Marks was an American lawyer and politician who served as a Republican in the United States House of Representatives from Pennsylvania. He was known for his moderate political views and for his decision to resign from Congress, citing his disillusionment with the partisan atmosphere in Washington. He was a respected figure who valued principle over party politics. Harry Blevins, he was born in August 1935 and he died in February 2018. His age was 82 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Harry B. Blevins was an American politician who served in the Virginia House of Delegates from January 1998 to September 2001, and the Senate of Virginia from September 2001 to August 2013, succeeding Randy Forbes in both offices. Blevins was a member of the Republican Party. He was a key figure in the growth of Republican Party in the state. Thomas Lockhart, he was born in September 1935 and he died in February 2018. His age was 82 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Thomas Lockhart was an American politician and a former Republican member of the Wyoming House of Representatives, representing District 57. He was a respected and influential leader who played a key role in shaping state policy for many years. Carmen A. Oraccio, he was born in November 1926 and he died in February 2018. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Carmen A. Oraccio was a powerful and long-serving Democratic politician from New Jersey. He served for many years as the mayor of Nutley and was a member of the New Jersey Senate for 2 decades, where he held the position of Senate President. He was a dominant figure in the state and local politics, known for his political acumen and his dedication to his community. Robert McKim, he was born in January 1946 and he died in February 2018. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Robert M. McKim was an American politician and a Republican former member of the Wyoming House of Representatives, representing District 21 from January 2009 until his resignation in September 2017 for health reasons. Burton Leland, he was born in November 1948 and he died in February 2018. His age was 69 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Burton Burt Leland was a long-serving Democratic politician from Michigan. He served for many years in both the Michigan House of Representatives and the state Senate, where he was known for his progressive views and his dedicated work on behalf of his Detroit constituents. He was a respected and familiar figure in state politics for decades. Kenneth Castor, he was born in March 1936 and he died in February 2018. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Kenneth Ken Castor was a Republican politician from Colorado who served in the state's House of Representatives. He was a dedicated public servant who focused on issues related to agriculture, water rights, and rural communities. He was a respected voice for his district in the state legislature. Larry Lolly, he was born in October 1945 and he died in February 2018. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Larry Lolly was an American judge. He practiced law in Monroe, Louisiana, and served as a Monroe City attorney. Lolly served in the United States Army and was commissioned a colonel. He served as a judge for the Monroe City Court and for the Louisiana District Court. He served on the Louisiana Circuit Courts of Appeals from 2003 until his retirement in 2017. Harry R. Perky, he was born in July 1934 and he died in February 2018. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Harry R. Perky was a long-serving Republican politician from Virginia. He was the member of the Virginia House of Delegates for over 2 decades, representing the city of Virginia Beach. He was a respected legislator known for his work on fiscal and business-related issues. Jim Bridwell, he was born in July 1944 and he died in February 2018. His age was 73 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from hepatitis C. Jim the Bird Birdwell was a legendary and larger-than-life American rock climber and mountaineer who was a pivotal figure in the evolution of climbing in Yosemite Valley. He was a pioneer of big wall climbing, establishing dozens of difficult new routes and famously making the first one-day ascent of the Nose on El Capitan in 1975. His bold, hard-living style and immense skill made him an icon of the sport. Jim Dickey, he was born in March 1934 and he died in February 2018. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. James Jim Dickey was an American college football coach. He served as the head football coach at Kansas State University, where he led the team to its first ever bowl game appearance. He was a respected coach who was known for his work in rebuilding programs and mentoring players. Fred Carr, he was born in August 1946 and he died in February 2018. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was prostate cancer. Fred Carr was a former professional football player who was a star linebacker for the Green Bay Packers. A first-round draft pick, he was a three-time Pro Bowl selection and was inducted into the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame. He was a tough and athletic player who was a leader on the Packers' defense during the 1970s. Dom Anile, he was born in December 1937 and he died in February 2018. His age was 80 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dominic Dom Anile was an American football and baseball player and coach. He served as a head football coach at C.W. Post College in Brookville, New York, from 1968 to 1979. After stepping away from coaching, he was a scout and administrator for the Cleveland Browns, Carolina Panthers, and Indianapolis Colts of the National Football League. Ed Lead, he was born in July 1927 and he died in February 2018. His age was 90 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Edward Ed Lead was a former professional basketball player who played for the Boston Celtics in the early days of the NBA. After his brief basketball career, he became a highly successful businessman in the oil and gas industry. He was also a major philanthropist, particularly to his alma mater, Dartmouth College, whose basketball arena is named in his honor. Dan Fagan, he was born in February 1962 and he died in February 2018. His age was 56 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was a car accident. Dan Fagan was one of the most powerful and influential player agents in the National Basketball Association. Known for his aggressive negotiation tactics, he represented numerous NBA superstars and all-stars throughout his career, including Dwight Howard and John Wall. He was a major figure in the business of professional basketball for over 2 decades. Jim Dobson, he was born in April 1939 and he died in February 2018. His age was 78 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. James Jim Dobson was a baseball player who played third base. He won the 1959 College World Series Most Outstanding Player Award. While a sophomore at Oklahoma State University, he spent 2 years playing baseball professionally, never reaching the majors. He was a respected member of the baseball community. Gertrude Alderfer, she was born in September 1931 and she died in February 2018. Her age was 86 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Gertrude Gert Alderfer was the first basewoman and catcher who played from 1949 through 1950 in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. She batted and threw right-handed. She was a dedicated athlete and a proud member of the league that inspired the film A League of Their Own. Jim Springer, he was born in June 1926 and he died in February 2018. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. James Jim Springer was an American professional basketball player. He played in the National Basketball League, Basketball Association of America, and American Basketball League. During the early years of modern professional basketball in the United States, he was a respected athlete from a bygone era of the sport. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.